America's Got Germans! My name is Anni and I actually planned to talk about something totally different in my today's video, but then this happened. Oh wait, that's another story I will share with you another time. I meant this happened. So, I really feel that I have to talk about the American health system in my today's video. I cannot keep my thoughts to myself for any longer because once again I was shocked. Guys, before I will talk about the actual incident and my shocking experience, I would like to give you a little bit of background for you to understand where I'm coming from. I'm coming from a country that is known for having one of the best healthcare systems in the world, meaning that German citizens and legal residents are required by law to have an insurance. Regardless of your income, you will have a healthcare that covers almost everything. Even if you are unemployed, you will have an insurance that covers doctor visits, medical treatment, dental visits, surgeries, whatever you need. I know some of my German friends might now think that's not true. Last time I saw my doctor, I had to pay 10 euros for my nasal spray out of pocket. Only my kids get everything for free. Right, there are certain things that you still have to pay out of pocket, but believe me, if you would talk to an American, they would still consider this as 100% coverage, or basically you get everything for free. Well, the US on the other side is far from being free, accessible, or from covering almost everything. So it's a bit tricky to give you an exact number, because the cost for your health insurance is depending on your age and also on the kind of plan you have chosen. And there are so many out there that it's very difficult for me to give you an exact number. But I did a bit of research and I found that in 2020, the average cost for health insurance for an individual was around about 7,500 and for families 21,000. On top of that, most insurance have a so-called annual deductible, meaning that they will not pay for anything until you exceed that number you have agreed on. And to give you an idea on that number, in 2020, the average size of deductible was 4,000 for an individual and around 8,500 for families. Again, to all my friends out there in Germany, the insurance will not pay for anything, no nasal spray, no nothing, before you exceed that number in 1 year, okay? There are some companies in the US that actually offer health benefits to employees, but I found out that 44% of companies in 2020 did not offer those kind of benefits, and then you have either pay for all of that out of pocket or you just don't have an insurance, right? In Germany, the health insurance system is divided into public health insurance and private health insurance, and as soon as you earn more than 64,000 euro in 1 year, you can choose between the two. But there are pros and cons and different reasons why you would still stick to the public health insurance even if you earn more. But that's a lot of details, and I will skip that in my today's video. But if you're interested, just let me know in the comment box below, and I can always upload a video dedicated to that topic. Of course, before we came to the US, we already knew that the healthcare system is different. But to be totally honest, I thought it's different in terms of cost and not so much in terms of quality and service, especially in Boston, where Harvard is so close by. So what I did is I made sure that we have a great insurance that is covering almost everything, as I was always afraid to see a doctor in the US and be broke afterwards. So in our case, we have chosen a German insurance, and this is only feasible because my husband is an expat, but that's another story. So yeah, we have a great insurance that is covering almost everything. And I honestly thought that nothing can go wrong, and now you can call me naive, and I will share my personal experience now. If I do something wrong, because it can also be that I'm the problem, I don't understand the American system, please leave me a comment, give me some advice. I'm really happy to learn. It already starts when I'm trying to make an appointment. So usually when I call a doctor's office, a machine is answering and it says press 1 for this and 2 for that and 3 if you would like to make an appointment. Okay, great. I press 3, someone is answering the phone and I start telling my story. I'm a new patient, I would like to make an appointment. And this woman or guy, whatever, whoever answers says, oh, I'm sorry, I can't help you. You can't? I'm sorry, did I press the wrong number? I thought I pressed 3. Yes, you did, but you first have to register yourself. So I will transfer you to my colleague. So, next person on the line. And this person is asking me all kind of personal information, even about my race. And to be honest, I'm wondering, does it matter if I'm black, white, Hispanic? I would assume that all human bodies working in a similar way. But okay, that thought aside, he's asking me all kind of personal questions, and 30 minutes later, I'm not kidding, those persons seem to have all time in the world. 30 minutes later, I'm back to person number 1. Hi, it's me again. I'm all set. I would now like to schedule an appointment. And this woman says, I'm sorry, I see you don't have an insurance. And I'm like, wait a second. I told that other girl that I have an insurance. Yeah, but she didn't put it in. And as long as there's no insurance in the system, I cannot schedule an appointment. Okay, can you add this information? No, I can't. I have to transfer you back to my colleague. Hi, it's me again. Could you please add my insurance to the system? And this girl goes, I can't, because the system doesn't allow to add international insurances. I'm like, what? Okay, the only thing she could add was that I'm self-paid. I'm like, fine, anyways, you know, I pay with my credit card, I get reimbursed later anyway, so cool. Okay, put in whatever you need, put in self-paid. Hi, it's me again. I guess I'm all set now. Can we please now schedule an appointment? And she says, sorry, I can't, because we don't take self-paid patients. And I'm like, I'm not self-paid. I have the best insurance you can only dream of. It's covering everything. I just need that appointment. And she says, sorry, the system doesn't allow me to book an appointment for you. Okay, let's say I'm a complicated case because I have an international insurance. Fair point. But remember, there are a lot of people in the US who don't have any insurance. And not only do they have to worry about how they're gonna pay the bill, but also where they can find someone who's willing to treat them. And maybe it was just me or I called the wrong places, but I can tell you the majority of doctors I called refused to give me an appointment because I'm self-paid, which I'm basically not, but anyways. So yeah, the next thing is that once I managed to get an appointment as a self-paid patient, of course, the first thing I did is asking the person working there how much my visit will cost, okay? And usually the answer is, I can't tell you, have to talk to someone from the billing department. So I'm like, okay, can I talk to someone from the billing department? Because I have to pay with my credit card today and I just would like to have a general idea how much my visit will cost. And that person tells me, I can't tell you either because you will receive different bills. One from the doctor, one from using the facilities, one in case you need blood work. I'm like, what? So seriously, no one can tell you how much your visit will cost, and no one can tell you how many different invoices you will receive afterwards. It's always a surprise, and most of the times not a happy surprise. But again, we are lucky that our insurance is covering everything, so at least I don't have to worry about that. Thinking now about all what I experienced, it made me wonder, and it's just a thought, so please correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't know if I am. So I thought part of why healthcare in the US is also much more expensive is that they have so many people working on dedicated tasks. Just for you to understand what I mean, if you go to a small doctor's office in Germany, it might be that you only meet 1 or 2 persons working at the front desk, and the same person is taking the calls, doing the billing, helping with paperwork, helping the doctor with assistant jobs like blood work, a lot of things like 5 people are doing in the US. And I'm not saying that everything is perfect in Germany, and usually those people are not the most friendly ones because they are stressed, they have a lot on their plate, I can understand now. But here I feel like everyone is doing a specific task, and as soon as it's not, if you ask a question which is not in their scope, they just don't feel responsible for it, and this just creates more work and more complication, and it's just sometimes more difficult than having one person who knows more or less everything and has access to all the systems. Did this make sense? I hope it did. So, as promised, I wanted to share what happened the other day. And as some of you might have noticed, it's not me in the picture. I don't have red hair. It is my friend from Germany who came to visit us. And we had a great time until she missed a step and she broke her leg big times. It was really bad. So we had to call the ambulance. And they sent us to the next ER. It was a Sunday, and the doctor working there was not on duty. She was just on call. So they sent her the picture, and she said that she has to come back the next day. So we asked, because the hospital we were at that time was 1.5 hours drive away from where we lived. We kindly asked if they can recommend us a place closer by, or tell us where to go, because it is a long ride, and they basically said no. And I don't know if it's just me, but I almost had the feeling they thought, how can you even ask? But here, I'm not so sure. Maybe I also misunderstood. So maybe they really couldn't help. Anyways, so they sent my friend home with a broken leg. And guess what I did the next morning? I tried to call as many doctor's offices as I could find to try to make an appointment with a doctor closer by. Guess what? I explained you the system earlier. It was impossible for me to arrange an appointment for my poor friend with a broken leg. So the only way she could see a doctor was driving back 1.5 hours, only to find out that this doctor cannot do the surgery as it's so complicated, and they sent her back to Boston. Again, we asked if they could help us to find a place for her to stay, or if they could make a call for us. And they tried to call one hospital once, which is in the same system, or working within the same system they would work in, but they couldn't get a hold of someone. So they basically told her she has to go through the ER again. Seriously? She drove 2 hours back to Boston, and she had to sit in the ER for another 12 hours to finally see another doctor. She had a lot of pain. It was unbelievable. Well, once she had a room, they all were very nice. They were very helpful. And they told her that she definitely needed surgery the next day. They prepared everything. And then 12 hours later, they came back telling her, you know what? We changed our mind. We think you actually don't need the surgery. And we were like, what? Some hours ago you told her that she definitely needed surgery because it's so bad, and no, she doesn't. And at the end, but this is just my gut feeling, I think they actually thought my friend wanted to fly home a few days later. And I think they didn't want to take the risk to do the surgery and send her home with the surgery like shortly after, and they thought the risk of flying home with a broken leg is lower than doing the surgery here. How bad it sounds. I mean, I guess that was the reason, but it's just they never said it. it's just me thinking it. Because as soon as she came back to Germany, they directly picked her up at the airport, drove her to the hospital, and this is what happened. So this is what the German doctors thought about doing the surgery. I mean, they definitely thought she needs surgery. So yeah, it was another different experience, I would say. And again, I'm so happy if you have any advice for me, and I'm not saying maybe I did something wrong or we did something wrong, or it was just a coincidence that we had so many bad experiences in a row. But yeah, leave me a comment and let me know what I can do next time. Yeah, I would be so happy to hear more about it. After sharing some things I don't appreciate about the American healthcare system, I would also like to take the opportunity to share actually what I do like. So first of all, once you manage to get an appointment, the service you receive and also the quality, from what I can judge, is excellent. And once you are signed up for whatever IT system they are using, you have access to all your data, to your doctor visit reports, you have everything in one place. They are great with follow-up appointments, treatment plans. So the service is great once you actually manage to see someone, okay? Another thing what I also appreciate, and my friend, she told me over and over again that she was so overwhelmed how friendly, nice and helpful everyone was as soon as she had a room in the hospital. So the nurses were great, the doctors were great. They took a lot of time explaining her things, and also with the language barrier. She really felt like they tried to do their best. And she felt very safe. While in Germany, the couple of times I was in a hospital, well, the nurse, they seem to be a lot more under pressure and stressed, and they usually don't have so much time. And whenever you ask a question, it sometimes feels like, well, they don't have time to answer all those questions. I don't know if that makes sense, but I think overall they are better staffed in the US, so they have more time to spend with the patient. But again, this is just based on the one experience we had in this one hospital in Boston. It might be different in other places, and also, of course, I met great nurses and great doctors in Germany, and I'm not saying everyone is stressed and not listening to you, okay? But the overall impression was like that. Okay, with that being said, I hope you liked what you saw today. Thanks again for watching. See you soon again. Auf Wiedersehen.